The mansion stood on the edge of a vast, forgotten valley, its marble halls echoing with silence and pride. Lord Ashbourne had a taste for the unusual, rare artifacts, foreign art, and people whose stories made his guests raise their brows. One autumn evening, he returned from a distant province with a new curiosity, a pale young man named Elias. The man's eyes were a faint gray, his demeanor calm and almost unreal, like a figure carved from snow. Elias spoke little, worked without complaint, and seemed to possess a quiet intelligence that unsettled the servants. They whispered that he rarely slept and that when he looked at someone, it felt as though he saw through them entirely. Lady Ashbourne dismissed the talk as superstition, yet she too noticed the strange presence that followed him. Mirrors seemed to dim near him, candles flickered when he entered a room. Within days, the lord's young daughter began to have dreams about fire and screams. The steward's dog refused to enter Elias's quarters. Still, Lord Ashbourne, arrogant and curious, found amusement in the unease his new servant caused. He invited guests to meet him, calling Elias, a man of extraordinary temperament, unaware of the storm that had begun to coil quietly behind the servant's pale eyes. Every night, Elias would stand by the window, gazing at the forest below the estate, a place no one dared to go after dark. Sometimes, faint whispers drifted from there, carried by the wind, like voices calling his name. Something was coming, and the house of Ashbourne would not remain silent for long. The following weeks turned the once lively mansion into a place of whispers and restless glances. The servants moved with unease, avoiding the corridors where Elias was seen walking after midnight. The lord began to sense the same dread that had consumed his staff, though his pride forced him to dismiss it. He told himself that his imagination had been poisoned by gossip. Yet at night, when the air turned still, he would hear footsteps outside his chamber door, soft and measured, as if someone waited but never entered. Lady Ashbourne grew pale and withdrawn. She claimed that Elias spoke to someone in his room even when he was alone. Once, she heard two voices, one deep and echoing, not human but ancient. The lord confronted Elias one morning at breakfast, asking who he had been speaking to. Elias only smiled faintly and said, "The ones you've forgotten, my lord." No further explanation came, and the silence that followed chilled everyone present. That night, the wind rose sharply, rattling the glass panes. The mansion seemed to breathe, its old walls creaking like they were alive. The butler, unable to bear the tension, attempted to leave, but as he crossed the threshold, the great doors slammed shut with such force that the hinges cracked. Elias appeared in the hall, calm as ever, saying the storm outside was too strong and no one should risk leaving. In the flickering candlelight, his face looked different, sharper, almost translucent, as if the skin no longer belonged to something entirely human. The young daughter, half asleep and terrified, swore she saw shapes behind him, pale figures whispering in the air, moving only when she blinked. By dawn, Lord Ashbourne's confidence had eroded. He began searching for a way to dismiss Elias, but each attempt failed. Every messenger sent into the valley vanished, every plea for help unanswered. The house had become a prison wrapped in cold mist, and Elias, silent, polite, and eerily patient, seemed to be waiting for something. Something that everyone in the mansion could feel drawing closer with each passing night.